As we shift our focus to competing at this year's ICDC, tonight's keynote speaker is a great example of the value of competition and the importance of reinventing yourself throughout your lifetime. One of the most legendary professional athletes of all time, from college to the pros, he received the highest award from the NFL Hall of Fame. Since then, he reintroduced himself as a television personality on hit shows like Saturday Night Live and That's Incredible. Now, as a serial entrepreneur, he's launched more than 20 successful businesses, and more recently, he partnered with Office Depot, one of our National Advisory Board members, in launching smallbizclub.com to help small business owners and entrepreneurs. To get a better message to see his competitive spirit, let's listen in on what some of his NFL colleagues have to say.
I always hated Tarkenton. I really did.
You see Deacon Jones and you see Ray Ditsky, and they were trying to kill me, ladies and gentlemen.
He's one man that we tried desperately to end his career.
This is Eldrick Tiger Woods, and Eldrick is an accomplished golfer. He wins tournaments on a regular basis and has shot close to par on 18-hole courses.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fran Tarkenton.
Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton, who has launched 20 companies over the last 30 years and advises small businesses, was the keynote speaker at the Washington, D.C. Small Business Week. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Welcome, NFL Hall of Fame legend and recipient of the DECA Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, Fran Tarkenton.
Hello there. How we doing? Huh? You having any fun? You know, I did play football with those big old ugly men you just saw on there for 18 years. But what I really am, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like what you are and what you're studying and what brings you here. And I think it's so super cool that you come to my hometown. You come here where the Atlanta Falcons play their football games, and you come here competing about business. Is that cool or not? I mean, my gosh. Now, you'll probably have just a little bit of fun while you're here too, right? I think, I played 18 years in the National Football League. I was 6 foot tall, 185 pounds, and they didn't draft me in the first round. They're going to have a draft here in another 5 days. And they didn't draft me in the first round or the second round. They drafted me in the third round, and the reason they did is because they didn't think I was big enough, strong enough, smart enough, good enough to play. But it really doesn't matter what other people might judge you and think of you and think what's your potential, because they don't know what's in your heart and soul and how hard you're going to work and how dedicated you are. And you and I are in control of our destiny, and the people that didn't draft me weren't. 18 years later, I set every passing record there ever was in the National Football League. I won more games than any quarterback that ever played. I quarterbacked my team to 3 Super Bowls out of the first 11. And then I told them as I left 18 years after I started, I said, I'm 6 foot, 185 pounds, and I'm big enough to play in this league with all you big boys out there. People come to me and say, you're a lucky guy. You made all this money playing pro football and you became a celebrity. Well, today they make a lot of money. Peyton Manning makes $23, $24 million a year. Tom Brady makes $25 million a year. We got some people from Boston here. I came in to play for the Minnesota Vikings. Skol Vikings. I was on the very first team at Minnesota in 1961. They were a new expansion team. I played in the first game ever played. You want to hear what my salary was? Peyton Manning makes $23 million a year. LeBron James makes $30 million a year. I was a star record-setting quarterback. I made $12,500 a year. So I worked. I went out in the off-season and I worked. Let me tell you what a glamorous job I have. I met your young man here who's the head of DECA from a student standpoint, and he's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. There you are. My first job, I was 22 years old. I was a star player in the National Football League, and I needed to make some money, more than $12,500, so I got a job. And my job was to go out to South Dakota in January and February, and it's cold out there, and my job was to knock on the doors of shipping clerks. It's an outdoor job, and get them to ship their goods on Wilson Truck System, which was based in Sioux Falls, on their 18-wheelers. It was all regulated to ship their goods from the Dakotas to Minnesota, Chicago, and back. That's how glamorous my job was, but they paid me a lot of money. Guess how much money they paid me? $600 a month. I learned business by doing business. Farmers learn to farm by going out and farming. I have built 20 companies. I've worked for other companies. I have learned everything from other people. None of us have original thoughts. We learn from what we hear, what we see, what we read. So it's so important that we come to places like this and we see each other. You will learn from each other. You'll learn from the mentors here. The whole reason for leadership, successful life, is people that are curious. We have to ask questions, and then we have to listen, and we have to ask questions of everybody that we can find. I learned to play quarterback from talking to other quarterbacks and talking to coaches and talking to ex-quarterbacks, and that's how I learned. It's not about what your SAT score is. It's not what your grade point average is. It's not how big or small you are. It's not whether you're female or male or any of that. It doesn't matter what state or what country you're from. It's up to you. It's you being smarter every day. It's you reaching out and asking more questions every day, being more curious every day, and understand what is the mission of business is the same as the mission of life. And what is that? To make money? No. The mission of business is to help people, to solve problems, to tell people the truth, to make the customer experience great, to produce products and services that help people, that solve problems, that make people better. And no, people say to me, no, that's not the mission of the mission of business. We read about the billionaires in Wall Street. And we hear all these people in the high-tech business making billions of dollars. The mission of business is to make money. It's not. It's to help people. It's to be transparent. It's to tell the truth. It's to make the customer experience great and have products and services that make people better and solve problems. If that is your mission, you will have a sustainable mission, and the byproduct of that is you will make money for your company or for your own company, whichever it might be. If your mission going in is to make money and to get rich, and people will hit you with biz ops, and we're going to make you rich, come do my deal, we'll make you $1 million in 2 days. If your mission is to make money going in, you'll compromise your principles. And all you have to do is read the Wall Street Journal and New York Times everyday business section, and you'll see where people on Wall Street. There's a company called SAC, S-A-C. The owner of the company, Stephen Cohen, is worth $9 billion. How do you make $9 billion by trading stocks? And the way he made $9 billion, they have convicted him now. They were cheating, insider trading. So they're going to fine him $1.9 billion. That's not what it's about. It's about transparency. It's about doing the right thing. And business and learning is a process, and it's continuing to be a process. And then I'm going to give you the key to it all. Every day of my life, from the time that I can remember to the time right now, I wake up every day with a sense of desperation. I want to go out and do something good. I want to go out and help somebody. I want to go out and give good advice. I want to go out and solve problems for people. And I wake up with a sense of desperation. And where did I learn that? Like most of my learning came from the football field. I was a quarterback in Athens, Georgia, 60 miles from here. We won the state championship in all the schools. And, whoa, Georgia, here we are. And we won the state championship here, and all the colleges were recruiting me. But the only college that really wasn't recruiting me was my hometown of Athens, Georgia, the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Bulldogs. And the reason they didn't recruit me, they had 2 quarterbacks they had drafted the year before who were great quarterbacks, and they didn't need me. But the local people put pressure on, they took me, even though they didn't want me. Back in those days, the freshmen couldn't play football in the varsity. So I didn't play until my sophomore year. And as we come into my sophomore year, these other 2 quarterbacks, Charlie Britt and Tommy Lewis, were number 1 and number 2. And the coach said to me, "Fran, you're a great player and you're a great guy, and we want you to play for us down the road, but we're going to redshirt you," which means they're not going to play me, but I'd have an extra year of education. I said, "I'm going to graduate in 4 years, Coach. And I think I can help your team, and I want to play right now, and I'm going to work real hard to change your mind when we come back in the fall." And I worked all summer, and I worked out, and I was ready to go. We come back to the fall, getting ready for the season, go through practices, and I was better than these 2 guys. But he wasn't going to play me. He was going to redshirt me. And I was determined not to be redshirted. I didn't know what a sense of desperation was, but I had a sense of desperation. Have you ever been to that point when you knew you could do something, but they wouldn't let you do it? They were holding me back. We went out to Texas to play our first game in Austin, Texas, against the Texas Longhorns. Any Texans in here? And we went out to play those Texas Longhorns on Saturday night television, and it was 70,000 people in the stadium. It was lights, and I was 19 years old, sophomore. I was so excited, but I wasn't going to play. I was going to sit on the bench all night. So we get out there on the field and start the game, and I didn't sit on the bench. Don't ever sit on the bench. I stood right next to our coach, Wally Butts. I stood right next to him, and all during the game, I'd say, "I think Charlie Britt's getting a little tired out there. He's limping. I think he's hurt. He hurt his leg. I need to go in there, Coach, and give him just a break. Just let me go in for one play." I bugged him the entire night. We went through 2 1/2 quarters. We're in the midway in the 3rd quarter. We're behind 7-0. And I'm really desperate. I've got to get myself in. I don't know what to do. But they punt to us. And we have a guy that fair catches the punt on the 5-yard line. I'm standing on the 50-yard line. I look back here, and Charlie Britt, the other quarterback who had been playing, he was sitting on the bench. I looked at him. I looked at all the chaos on the field, changing players. I bolted on the field. I put myself in. I ran out in the field, put myself in. He never saw me. Later on, Charlie Britt, the other quarterback, said, "You put yourself in? I thought he put you in." I said, No, I put myself in. And I said, most of my errors are errors of assumption. Assume nothing, question everything. Too bad, Charlie. So I'm out in the field, and my teammates say, "What are you doing out here? You're supposed to be red-shirted." I said, "No, we're going to play." We start driving. We make a first down. We make 2 first downs. We make 3 first downs. We're at the 40-yard line. I look over at the coach, and I acknowledge him out there. He didn't blink. We go down to the 5-yard line. Now we're stymied. We're losing 7-0. It's in the 4th quarter of the game. It's now 3rd down and 5 yards, and we gotta score on this play, or we're done. So I call a pass play, and I came out, and Texas was really good, and he rushed the passer, and I ran to the right, and I ran to the left. Then I circled back, and they called me a scrambler, and I ran more to the right, and finally, just before they tackled me, I threw the ball, hit our end in the end zone, catches the ball. We have a touchdown. Now the score is Texas 7, Georgia 6. They put our extra point kicker to come on the field to tie the game with an extra point. But this was the first year we had the option to kick an extra point like they do now, or go for 2 points. I waved, at 19 years old, I waved the kicker off the field. Waved him off the field. I tell our team, I said, "Now guys, we're going to go for 2 points. If we don't make it, you're going to fly back to Athens, Georgia from Austin, Texas, but I'm going to have to take the bus. He'll never let me back on that plane again. So I call another play, and I roll out to the right, circle back to the left. I'm being rushed by their team, and I've got good news and bad news for you. I've got a guy wide open in the end zone. I got a 6'4", 210-pound end wide open in the end zone. But this end was named Gordon Kelly. He ended up being a linebacker of the National Football League, and he had hands of stone. If I threw him 10 balls, he had dropped 9. But he was open. I had no other choice. I said a little prayer, and I threw it, and I hit him right between the 8 and the 4. I mean, I threw him a perfect ball. And it hit his hands, went right through his hands, hit his chest, and started falling to the ground. I saw my life going away right then. I was cranking up that Greyhound bus to go back to Athens, Georgia, because I wasn't going to get a seat on the plane. And I saw this big old 6'4" guy. He crumbled to the ground. He fell to the ground, and he stretched out his long arms, and he caught it. And we made it to the point. Now, I thought think about that in your life now. Who's in control of your life? You are. Every morning, create a sense of desperation to get things done, to help people. And you have a better chance. I didn't know what desperation was then, but I know what it is now. And in that situation, if I don't take that move, I may never play quarterback for Georgia. I may still be sitting on the bench. That means I wouldn't have got drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. That means I wouldn't have set all the passing records of the National Football League. You make your breaks. You make your breaks. And you're here in this great conference, this great competition for the next 2 days. Talk to everybody. Ask questions of everybody. Get all the knowledge and information you can, because life is a process. Whenever you think you've got all the answers, you don't have any. Keep that process going and continue to get better and continue to learn. And remember this, the mission of business is the same as the mission of life. We're here to serve others. It's not about us. It's about our friends. It's about our partners. It's about our customers. God bless you and have a great time in Atlanta.
Mr. Tarkenton, as our members begin their competitions and campaigns, I know that they will think back on your message of what it means to be a team leader and execute a winning strategy. Our members participating in the Executive Mentor Program are looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. On Tuesday, our members hope to be standing on this very stage as we present over $300,000 in scholarships and our coveted International CDC Award. Your message tonight helped inspire many of us, and we would like to honor you as a DECA champion. So please accept this Entrepreneurial Spirit Award for your sports and entertainment marketing experience, your example as a leader, and your passion for entrepreneurship. Thank you. Congratulations.